It's midday. Good afternoon and welcome to the City Prime News, coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the globe on citynewsroom.com. In the Upper West region, we are live on Tumpani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli. In the Upper East region, we are live on Recast 92.1 FM in Bongo Namu. In the Northern region, you're listening to us on North Star Radio 92.1 FM in Tamale. In the Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 FM in Nalerugu. In the Western region, Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM on the KNUST campus, Kumasi. We are live on Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. And in the Volta region, we are live on Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy FM 98.5 in Aplau. And in the Savannah region, Kesha 99.5 FM in Damango. Coming up, 23 persons perish and several others in critical condition following a gory accident that occurred in between Kintampo and Babatokuma in the Bono East region on Sunday night. Also coming up, the 66th Independence Day celebrations are ongoing across the country. We'll head to the Volta region for updates on how the day is being commemorated.
I see today as a very special occasion, so I've come here all the way from Accra with my children to witness it.
As for happy day, we are extremely happy. But just that, it shouldn't be like maybe when an occasion is about to take place or something. That is when they'll come and put up this developmental, maybe.
So ahead in the bulletin, we'll also hear from some political parties in the country what messages they have for Ghanaians on Independence Day. Meanwhile, economist Professor Godfred Bobkin says Ghana's Independence Day celebrations will be meaningless without concerted efforts at tackling corruption. And later, on day 3 of the 7-day trip to 14 regions of Ghana, patrons of Citi TV's Heritage Caravan embark on a journey to the Upper East region. We'll bring you a wrap of how the day 2 ended in the Ashanti region. We have all that and more on the City Prime News. Stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Now to our first story, the death toll in the gory road accident that occurred at Babatokuma near Kintampo in the Bono East region has increased to 23. The accident, which happened on Sunday, involved a Yendi-Kumasi-bound bus and an articulated truck. 24 persons sustained various degrees of injuries and are receiving treatment at the Kintampo Government Hospital. In an interview with Citi News, the Municipal Chief Executive for Kintampo North, Isaac Bafo, said 2 out of 6 persons who are in critical condition have been transferred to the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
The problem was that one bus was coming from Yendi, a passenger bus was coming from Yendi to Kumasi, and another one truck, agriculture, was also loaded with the floor tie to Tamale. And there's a town called Babatok, and unfortunately we lost about 22 people. The injury was 25 at the time the accident happened. They was rushed to Kintampo Municipal Hospital. They were treated. Unfortunately, this morning, 1-2 passed on, making 23. They were safe in critical condition that we need to send them to Tamale Teaching Hospital or Kumasi. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the bed at Kumasi and Tamale. So later on, we called the Honorable Regional Minister for Tamale, and he came in and helped. So we have moved another 2 to Tamale Teaching Hospital. So others are still in Kintampo Municipal Hospital receiving treatment. So that is the latest that we have. Another one even happened just this morning. They were involving a soldier's car, but luckily enough, there was no casualty. So they have moved to Kumasi for the minor injuries that they could take for treatment.
The MCE also noted that authorities have begun efforts to contact the families of persons who perished in the road accident.
Some of the surviving passengers have called their family members in Yendi. So some of them too are in Kentampo at the moment, and some too have not yet come. We are waiting for them. We have sent a message to Yendi GPRTU station that the bus number, we have mentioned the bus number to them. That set up yesterday have been involved in an accident at Kentampo, Babato. So they should also inform their parents and the family members. So they are aware, they are duly informed.
That was the Municipal Chief Executive Officer for the Kintampo North, Isaac Bafo. Now, the 66th Independence Day celebrations of Ghana, which is being held at the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center in Adaklu, has seen a mammoth crowd of people drawn from all walks of life to partake in this historic event. The event has led to some developmental works in the region, including the fixing and installation of over 2,000 street lights in the whole municipality, the fixing of roads, and also the completion of the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center in Adaklu. Some patrons of the event tell Citi News they are happy with the developmental works which has taken place due to the celebrations.
Having schooled here for many years and being part of the 6 March marching myself, I see today as a very special occasion. So I've come here all the way from Accra with my children to witness it. I think it's special in nature because this is the first and a national event being held here in Ho. And the crop of people from all over the country, all the dignitaries that are here, makes me excited. I think that we shouldn't end it at the National Independence Day celebration, but the region should continue to receive the much-needed development that it desires.
We are extremely happy, but just that it shouldn't be like maybe when an occasion is about to take place or something. That is when they'll come and put up these developmental maybe structures. They are needs of the society. So okay, we are happy, but just next time they should make sure that they see to our needs for us, not only in times of any occasion or any special guests arriving in town.
Those were some patrons of the 66th Independence Day celebrations, which is happening in Adaklu in the Volta region. Now, our regional correspondent Desmond Ago is joining us on the telephone lines to give us updates on what's happening there so far. Good afternoon, Desmond. What can you report?
Hi, good afternoon. So it was so interesting to know that people as at now are still trooping in their numbers to the Youth Resource Center here at Adaklu just to witness this historic event happening in the Volta region. That is the 65th Independence Day celebration of Ghana. Around 6 a.m., people started trooping in their numbers. We saw schools coming, all from the region here, and also some from the Adaklu district, which is the hosting district here. MMBCs are also here. We've seen some dignitaries coming from other countries are also coming in. And the special guest of honor, which is the president of Guinea-Bissau, and also the chairman of the ECOWAS, His Excellency Umaru Mbalo is also here. But we are currently waiting for the address of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Currently, what's happening here now is the performance by the military. They are doing a physical exercise training demonstration for the people here. So for now, that's what I can tell you.
What is the general mood of the people who are there to take part in the celebrations today?
Well, what I've been hearing from people is that they are happy. Most people here are happy, and but they have some few concerns, which is why should they wait for a celebration as this before some developmental projects should be undertaken, such as the passing of roads, fixing of street lights, and also the completion of the Youth Resource Center here at Adaklu. But in all, they are all happy. They are here in their numbers just to witness the Independence Day celebration here.
Very well, Desmond. We're also picking up info that the live transmissions on the national television station has been interrupted. Have you heard anything on that?
No, please. But what I can say about what we are told is that we all should take the feed from the nation's broadcast TV, which is GTV. So most TV stations are just taking the fees from them. So when you look around, you not see any cameraman or photographer moving around. We have some special people who are doing that.
Right, Desmond, initially you mentioned some key persons who are there to grace the occasion. Can you give us names if you have it?
So for now, I only know of the chairman of the ECOWAS and also the president, who also doubles as the president of Guinea-Bissau, His Excellency Sissoko Embalo.
Hello, Desmond.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, can you take that again? I didn't quite get you.
Okay, so what I can say about that, the dignitaries here, the notable amongst them, which is the chairman of the ECOWAS and also who doubles as the president of Guinea-Bissau, His Excellency Sissoko Embalo, is the only dignitary which I can identify here now.
Very well, Desmond. Thank you so much for your time. Desmond Agor is our Volta regional correspondent, and he's been bringing us up to speed on what's happening in the region as far as the Independence Day celebrations are concerned. Caleb now has other stories.
Still on the independence celebration and policy think tank Imani Africa has asked the government to use the 66th independence anniversary to reflect on its handling of the economy. The policy think tank believes a sober reflection may lead handlers of the economy to correct mistakes of the past and help chart a new path for the country. Speaking to Citi News, President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, says government must focus on building a robust economy anchored on a reformed public sector.
Well, ordinarily, given the theme of this year's celebration, which is unity, our strength, and our purpose, obviously it would mean that if there was something more challenging that we are facing, as in the case of the health of babies or the lack of vaccines for babies, then presumably, yes, it makes sense to say that, well, maybe cut back on the excessive celebration and then use that to purchase this critically needed vaccine. But I want to talk about something much more, if you like, uplifting, and that is the fact that we have been faced with, that we've imposed on ourselves, and our managers are partly to blame, a very, an economy that obviously is not delivering the needed results. And I thought that we would rather dedicate this year, being the 66th of our anniversary, to reliving, if you like, the values or the morals of a good society. And a good society here would mean enterprising, liberating the entrepreneurial energies of every Ghanaian. That can help build the country productively. I would have thought that we should be much more interested in moving away from the dependence of the so-called few commodities, and then try to build an economy away from even industrialization and manufacturing to truly building overall national capacity. That capacity must be anchored on the strength and, if you like, a very reformist public sector that can deliver. So, yes, we are 66 today, and there's a lot to be grateful for. But if we are to define our purpose as part of the theme of this year, I would think that our purpose should be much more serious and focused than we are currently pursuing.
President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo.
You're listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll continue with our Independence Day stories, and we are now joined on the phone by Professor Godfred Bobkin, who is an economist. Prof, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this hour. What is your assessment of Ghana as a country? 66 years on, what are the prospects going forward?
Yeah, good afternoon, and happy Independence Day. It's a day worth thinking through. 66 years of independence, I think we have come a long way, holding ourselves together in one way or the other. We've made some progress, but of course, we could have done far better. So I think what the day should do for us is for us to have a deep reflection of what the major misses are, what the major hits have been. But if you examine Ghana's economic trajectory since independence, you don't get the impression that we have actually gained independence. We might have been lying to ourselves all this while. Whatever we sought to gain from independence in 1957, in terms of having a control over our economy and the direction of our economy and all of that, we have not gained that. We have not achieved that. In fact, since independence and since Ghana officially joined the IMF on September 20th, 1957, Ghana has actually spent quality time. Out of these 66 years, we've spent quality part of this under the direction, guidance, supervision of the West. Essentially, the colonial masters who, through the Bretton institutions, have actually gained a foothold on our economies, not only Ghana. So if you look at it, the number of times Ghana has been to the IMF seeking economic leadership and direction and credibility, we have actually spent more years under the supervision, custodian leadership of the IMF and the World Bank than we have actually spent on our own leading ourselves economically. Okay, so we should really think about what we call independence. Maybe in terms of political independence, fine, and all of that. But really, I want to believe that the forefathers who laid down their lives and fought for independence for us, if they were alive today and they look at the economic fundamentals, social cohesion, and all of that, I'm sure they will come to the conclusion that we have deviated from that aspiration. Of course, some of us were not around, but reading the literature, watching some of the videos, and all of that, you could see that hopes were very high and all of that, but we have not been able to sustain that. We have not been able to turn these good intentions and aspirations into actual and sustainable development or inclusively. We have not. But I think that what is also important is that merely celebrating Independence Day means nothing to me. We must have a clear timeline and target which should guide our next celebration. And more importantly, the 67th celebration, we should look forward to Ghana gaining independence from corruption, gaining independence from nepotism, gaining independence from low productivity. We must have this target, something that we look forward to celebrating next year, next 2 years, next 3 years, so that merely having 12 months pass through is not enough to spend millions of cedis to celebrate it.
Right.
There are developmental challenges which we should have a clear understanding and a target to achieve. If we cannot win Ghana, win independence from corruption, it's not worth celebrating anything anymore.
Right. I was about to ask you how crucial you think the fight against the corruption can help Ghana achieve the target we set for ourselves when we got independence.
No, it's very, very important. Look, if you don't deal with corruption, no matter how much revenue you generate, you could even tax the air that we breathe, so to generate more revenue. It will always not be enough. And it doesn't matter how many times we even decide to go to the IMF, it will not solve the problem because conservatively, Ghana loses annually over 12 months. We lose more than $3 billion annually through corruption. That is actually more than how much we could get from the IMF over a 3-year period. Okay, so we must identify some of the things that hold us back. Just as our forefathers identified that we needed to be in charge of our own affairs and they fought for it, and others laid down their lives for it. So there are things that still hold us back and maybe much more egregious than before. That should guide us. And I think that we should prioritize corruption. If we prioritize gaining independence from corruption, it will help our economy to grow inclusively. How would that happen? It will happen also through efficiency in our investment process. So you see the public sector investment management process full of corruption. What that means is that the real benefit of the public expenditure or spending does not benefit the ordinary Ghanaian. And while the country increasingly becomes poorer and poorer, there are individuals within the group of elite capture, including top civil servants, top religious people, top politicians, who are actually gaining more than the country overall. So you will see development, big mansions and all of that. And you see the prices they are quoting in an economy where 80% of public sector workers earn less than 3,000 Ghana cedis a day, a month. What that tells you is that when you see those high prices for an apartment quoted in dollars, it tells you the underlying corruption, which means that the dark economy is more rewarding than the economy that we all see that rewards so little, but the underground economy is much more lucrative.
Very well. Thank you so much, Professor Godfred Bobkin, for your time. We really appreciate you this afternoon. Professor Godfred Bobkin is an economist. Caleb brings us some other stories.
Now, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte has reiterated calls for national unity and determination in building a more resilient nation. The regional minister explains that the country continues to be a beacon of hope in the sub-region. Speaking at the Greater Accra Regional celebration of the 66th Independence Day celebrations in Tema, Henry Korte urged Ghanaians to help build a better Ghana.
In this region, however, we obtained permission to host one grand celebration here in Tema. Tema, as you all know, is the industrial hub of the region and the country at large. One of the cities in sub-Saharan African planned and developed after our independence. With a common purpose and unity, we have made Tema a model industrial city. 66 years ago, the nation sounded a clarion call to the colonial masters and other African countries for the liberation and independence of its citizens. The call was spread and won for several African countries their freedom. We therefore celebrate today to retreat to the world that the Black Star is still a shining star to the world and continue to take leadership roles in several spheres of life.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte urging Ghanaians to help build a better Ghana.
Now, the Convention People's Party, CPP, is calling on Ghanaians to boycott today's Independence Day celebrations. The CPP says it is a misplaced priority for the government to be spending so much money on the 6th March celebrations at a time when the country is battling its worst economic crisis. Speaking to Citi News, the General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, Nanaya Jantua, called on the government to rather focus on finding solutions to solve the current economic situation.
It doesn't make sense to the CPP that today there is a celebration. Today is the day that every Ghanaian, we should boycott the celebration of independence because we are not independent. We are going to China for a debt restructuring. How can today Ghana, when Kwame Nkrumah was in power, the CPP was in power at the time, China was our protege. But today we are going to China. The Akufo-Addo government has mismanaged the economy. We thought that the government will use today as a day that various groups will come together to proffer a solution. This government is behaving as if that they know it all, but they have just messed up. There is no plan. All they do, they use ad hoc measures as and when. Mismanagement of this economy. COVID fund, $3 billion. We don't know what they use the money for. This government has mismanaged this economy so badly. The money that is in short supply, the government cannot pay contractors. Government cannot provide feeding for a free SHS. There is not adequate accommodation for students who are in SHS. And government is spending money to refurbish a stadium. There is nothing wrong with it. But the point is that the timing is wrong. So there are billboards in town wanting to be president. When we are in dire straits, we are saying that Ghana should boycott it and send a signal. We should start sending a message to this government that enough is enough.
That was the General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, Nana Ya Jantwa. Let's now hear what the People's National Convention PNC has to say about Ghana's 66th Independence Day celebrations.
Malaysia and Ghana had independence the same day. Can we compare our development level or even GDP to Malaysia? No. You ask yourself why. We cannot be proud of where we are now. We cannot, and we should not even think of being proud of where we are now. To be proud, we have to make sure that this country starts working again. And to do that, all of us, our hands must be on deck. I've seen a lot of accusations being thrown around here and there. But how to be able to come together to make sure that this country works? Like, let's do it like in a unified form. I don't see that. I see separation. I see political parties trying to do everything in their power to get into power, no matter what. No one cares about the right thing being done. I think that our chiefs, our chieftaincy institutions, our religious institutions, they should also come in. It will also help to make sure that we're shaping society well. Let's leave the politicians and build our country.
Janet Nabila is the General Secretary of the People's National Convention, PNC. Also commenting on Ghana's 66th Independence Day celebrations is the President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obin, who called for efforts towards reviving the Ghanaian economy.
So we have achieved political independence since 66 years ago. Now we all admit that the economy is in a mess, a total mess. And so this is all that we are expecting, that we should bring a turnaround in our economy, and that we all come together as we are celebrating the independence. Then the unity of purpose is what we are expecting, that we all come together and find economic independence this time round. So this is what is important now, so that businesses can thrive, and then the good people of Ghana can also have their laws bettered. This is all that I seek for the people of Ghana.
You heard the President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obin.
Let's take you to the Western region, where the regional celebration of the 66th Independence Day has been marked with a parade by students and security agencies, as well as various identifiable groups at the Jandu Park in Sekandi. Also, similar activities are taking place in the various municipalities and districts across the region. At the Axim Victoria Park in the Nzima East Municipality, the Chief Executive Elizabeth Dorcas Amoa, who inspected the parade of 26 schools, called for unity of purpose for the development of Ghana.
Let us not fall prey to the trap of diverse opinions and provide to the world once again that unity is strength. We can only do this by truly caring, understanding each other, and acting upon it by removing all personal biases. Ladies and gentlemen, collectively, all hands should be on deck to ensure the growth of our economy. My paramount vision is to find diverse strategies to make our children resilient and embrace the challenges of education, to augment the number of enrollment of children in the municipality. I am very upbeat from the future of our children. Greater education can lay a basis for children in the municipality and Ghana as a whole. I wish to impress on parents to give their utmost support to their children, to be involved in their education at all times and strengthen their school performance as they are the future leaders. Celebrate the nation's 66th birthday. We should be fortified in the knowledge that despite our challenges in the municipality and Ghana at large, we are on course for reaching our goal of Ghana beyond aid.
That was the MC for Nzima East, Elizabeth Dorcas Amoa.
You're still listening to the City Prime News on 97.3 City FM. My name is Nashika Caesar, here with Caleb Kuda. Still to come, we'll tell you how the current state of some traffic lights in the Greater Accra region poses a threat to both drivers and pedestrians. Stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant. And she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? Eh? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Let's now do some other stories. A road and building consultant, Abdullah Mahama, wants government to reintroduce the payment of compulsory towing levy by vehicle owners. He contends that such a move will aid in getting broken down vehicles off the road. His comment follows a gory accident in Kintampo in the Bono East region on Sunday night. Speaking to Citi News, Mr. Mahama stressed that towing of broken down vehicles early on the highways will reduce road crashes.
I've seen government over the years trying to dualize, or in other instances, multiple the lanes we have from Accra to Kumasi. They are very expensive to construct. However, if we have not gotten to those locations yet, there are so many things that government must do to reduce this kind of accident drastically. Towing trucks to immediately tow vehicles off potential accident areas, such as the one that had just been recorded. In as much as government is trying to look for money to dualize our road to drastically reduce the speed of accident or running into station vehicles, first thing must be done. All commercial vehicles must be installed with the speed limiters. Number two, the towing truck system which government brought and sadly took it away must be brought back and find a nice way to actually incorporate it into our bills that we pay from DVLA or the insurance. So we can have a lot of this towing truck visible on the roads. When we do this and as we are with government to expand the road network, we'll basically reduce this kind of nature of accidents that are claiming so many lives on our roads.
That was road and building consultant Abdullah Mahama.
The current state of some traffic lights in the Greater Accra region poses a threat to both drivers and pedestrians. Statistics from the National Road Safety Authority shows that 2,117 people died as a result of road crashes between January and November 2022. Citi News checks with some communities reviews. Many of the traffic lights have been damaged. There is more in the following report filed by Citi News' Emmanuel Opong.
Today, we explore obstacles and dangers on the roads that can harm and endanger lives. One of such obstacles is damaged traffic lights. Primarily, traffic lights allow for the free movement of vehicles in the right direction. A faulty traffic light causes congestion and renders the lives of commuters unsafe. Citi News visited some selected spots to ascertain the state of the traffic lights. The first point of call was the Galilee Junction on the Aman-From-Kaswa Highway. Residents and commuters say the traffic light has been damaged for over 3 years without any attempts by authorities to fix it.
For this traffic light, I think it has been here for, if I'm not lying, it might be 4 or 5 years now that it has not been working. Negatively, yeah, it is affecting the life of people here because it helps us cross the road. We all know the sequence, how the traffic light works. So as it's not working, it's affecting the people, crossing the road because it really helps us to cross the road. Accidentally, it has happened many times. And then where it is placed, where the traffic light is placed, is somehow closer to the bus stop where the cars are parked. And for that matter, I don't think where it is placed is appropriate. It rather should go back a bit from where the cars or the trotro drivers used to park, so that those people also that cross the road, it can be easy for them to cross, because since it is, closer to where the cars are parked, it's not appropriate. So from my observation, I think it should go back a little bit like that. First of all, I think this should be a wake-up call for those who fix the traffic lights on our roads. They should have an indicator on every traffic light, so that when the traffic is faulty, the indicator can signal them or wherever they are, then they will come and work on it.
The traffic light over here is about more than 3 years now. This traffic light for nobody, no any top officials to come and assist us. Every day, every present day, the accident will happen for here. Recently, some truck, it hit a lot of people, spoiled some people's item over there. So we are appealing the top officials to come to do this and that traffic light for us.
Yeah, we are saying a higher power, especially say be cross. So next, as a driver, we the mechanics who stop as a zebra Brazilian one who stop. Different driver no bano. Be what to be fairly. Most of the about traffic no a higher power in the assembly for say. The other way and say crampo yet here we are more than 5 years. The way the anywhere more than 5 years. In the higher one, in this year did December for by ya. Sa car a bonk of one crampo as we try.
The traffic light situation at Latibio Koshe was not so different. It was evident that the pillars holding the traffic light had been removed after it was damaged, and this has worsened the flow of traffic on the stretch. Commuters and residents here also share their thoughts with Citi News.
For how long have you noticed that the traffic light has not been functioning and it has been taken away?
It has been, I think, 3 years now. Yeah, since I started passing here, 3 years, if I can say, yes, 3 years.
And how do you think it is affecting negatively on the...
It's causing a lot of problems, because at times, if you get here and there is no police, people standing here, you see people have been forcing to find their way, and, it can cause an accident. So if government can do something about it, it's going to help a lot. I think they have a whole ministry or an agency or whatever, which is under government, which is responsible for traffic lights. They are sitting at the office. This work, they are not supposed to sit at the office. They are supposed to come out and see whether traffic lights are working, everything is going on well. But, this is the kind of country we are living in.
More than 8 to 10 years now. They come and remove the traffic light go, but it didn't bring it again.
They give us traffic, a lot of traffic when we are coming. Very difficult traffic here.
Citi News followed up to Teshi Laskala Junction. According to a resident who spoke on condition of anonymity, the faulty traffic light on that stretch contributes to the road crashes on that stretch.
This La Scala, let's say police station, La Scala police station, and it's been a half a year now since the traffic light was faulty, and it has really caused traffic here, accidents, a whole lot. That's what we have been facing here. We would like if the government can do, is it government per se, or if there can be something that it will be done to it, we'll be okay with it, because it really causes accidents over here. Not only what happened this afternoon, but it has been causing accidents and traffic also.
This is a traffic light cable, the only indicator that tells that there used to be a traffic light pole on this particular point. Residents and commuters that use this side of the road are saying that the absence of the traffic light is over 5 years. They are appealing to the relevant authorities to come salvage the situation. For Citi News, I am Emmanuel Opon.
And here in the studio, my name is Nashika Caesar, doing this with Caleb Kuda. Let's now do some other stories. More individuals are picking up nomination forms to contest for various parliamentary seats across the country on the tickets of the National Democratic Congress in the upcoming 2024 general elections. So far, over 800 people have picked up their forms since the party opened nominations on February 22 for their primaries. The aspirants who picked up the forms are expected to file their nomination on the 20th of March 2023. The chairman of the NDC's Internal Elections Committee, Kakra Isamwa, spoke to Citi News on the process so far.
You know, we did the parliamentary online. Submitted between 20th and 22nd of this month, March. Well, right now, you have some idea about 800, some 900 people have picked. You understand? But I cannot be absolutely sure until the date when they file, and then I know that somebody called Kaka picked it in Accra, but he actually filed in the constituency in Northeast. So give us a little time. I'm telling you, yes, 800 people have picked forms. But I cannot be absolutely sure that they picked the form for a constituency in Usu or a constituency in Cape Coast. Oh, we have solved all the challenges. Of course, as I said the other, it's a machine. So it's a machine. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. We had a few challenges, but I can assure you we resolve all of them. And nobody has any challenges regarding the picking of forms, etc. Nobody.
That was the chairman of the NDC Internal Elections Committee, Kakra Isamwa there. Caleb has some other stories.
The Convention People's Party, CPP, says plans are underway to commence the election of its polling station executives across the country. The election, which was earlier scheduled for the latter part of 2022, was moved due to an injunction placed by the court. But the Director of Communications for the Convention People's Party, Sylvester Soprano, tells Citi News all matters have been resolved, and the party is set to conduct the polling station elections, which will be followed by constituency-level elections by second half of the year.
The internal elections reorganizes the party. We expect that over the next 2 to 3 weeks, that the central committee of the party will have a meeting purposefully for that. Okay, because what has happened is that we had a long-running court case that was inhibiting our progress in that direction, but we put that behind us. There's been a resolution. Okay, so this year we've already had one CC meeting, which was preparatory to the one we expect over the next couple of weeks, at which point we expect a timetable, a concrete timetable, so that, I can tell you that maybe on a particular day, on a date, we're having a polling station election, for instance. So we start with the polling station election, and then we move to the, the electoral area. We move on to the constituency level, to the regional, to the national election, and then we have a national congress to elect the flag bearer, etc. And we hope to do that, complete all of that, around the early part of the second half of the year, around the third quarter, I think.
Director of Communications for the Convention People's Party, Sylvester Soprano. Meanwhile, the Progressive People's Party says it is confident a third party will take over power in the 2024 general elections. Kofi Mante is the Director of Communications for the Progressive People's Party.
It's not that I believe they could, they must, they should. Ghana must have a third party, an alternative. And we, the Progressive People's Party, have maintained that we are the alternative. Whether we are able to form an alliance with other parties so we can restore the power or not, we still remain the alternative. And that is what we are trying to project to the Ghanaians, that they should look at us within the lenses of we being the alternative in terms of policy proposals that we want to give to Ghana and help develop Ghana. Ghanaians should look at voting as having the numbers before they join our force and rest of all. But they should look at us as the alternative party who are providing the alternative solutions, the policies that can solve the Ghana's problem. Whether you are tied with the MPP or you are not tied, what is the alternative that you want to give to Ghana?
Director of Communications, Progressive People's Party, Kofi Mante.
You're listening to the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead on day 3 of the 7-day trip to 14 regions of Ghana, patrons of City TV's Heritage Caravan embark on a journey to the Upper East region. We'll bring you a wrap of how day 2 ended in the Shanti region. Don't go away.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Charlie, so the first thing they do when you wake up is check out highlights. And then all you go remember, I for take the kids to school. He left small, you drop the ball, boss. You go fit meet your deadlines without ever missing the game. Now you be true, boss. You then make it to date night on game night, but still they catch the game, right? Hey, Charlie, boss. You they bring you the best leagues for any screen top, wherever you day. From only 59.99 Ghana cedis per month. Live from Super Sport on Showmax Pro. Sign up on showmax.com.
Vodafone Business introduces 2 much business packages for businesses and SMEs. Yes, it be too much value. It be too much flexibility. It be too much everything so on Vodafone too much business. And the best part is you can now take your business up another level. Wow. Choose the voice, data and SMS package that suits your business size and ambitions with Vodafone too much business. That means more data for your business with ability to roll over unused data. More SMS, more minutes for Vodafone to Vodafone calls and Vodafone to other networks, plus free calls amongst your employees, all in one mobile package. There is too much value you get on the best mobile plan in Ghana today. To sign up, SMS start to 050-777-9000 or email vodafonebusiness.gh@vodafone.com.
Vodafone, further together.
Hours of labor, we share their glory.
Our school ode enjoins us to follow in the steps of our predecessors and build upon their legacy for posterity. This year, the 98-year group of Santa Clausians invites you to the 113th Speech Day on Saturday, 11th March 2023 at 8 a.m. prompt, under the theme, Ours to Do Exploits and Add to Their Gain, the Santa Clausians' Role in National Development. Guest speaker, Professor Solomon Fifi Oferiakwa, Santa 83. The Legacy Project will be commissioned by the Honorable Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum. Come and experience their disco spirit in full flight. Play up, Santa Clausians.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the Caravanite on the day 2 of the Heritage Caravan had the privilege of learning about one of Ghana's popular prints, Kente, and the heritage of the people of Bonre. The patrons had a long drive from the eastern to the Shanti region after visiting the Volta region on the first day of the 7-day trip. Upon their arrival, the Caravanites were welcomed by the chief of Bonre, Nana Bobi Ansa, and his entourage. My colleague Kweku Idiama Ansa was on the caravan and has a wrap of day 1 and day 2 events from Kumasi in this report.
The very first day is done and dusted. That was our trip to the Volta region. We saw great scenes there. We've shown you in our previous episode. We're moving on to the next day. That is day 2 of our tour, and we'll be heading to the Ashanti region. But let me just wrap the very first day with some great experiences. So for patrons, we're treated to some great foods, local and also continental, and I would want to engage a few of them on that, how well they've enjoyed their period. How has the whole trip been for you? Because we know that we've spent our very first night here at Royal Senchi. How have you been treated?
It's been very good with the meal that we had before retiring, and then the kwampa music. Yeah,
I'm sure you enjoyed that.
Very much so. It was really, 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 really good. So I'd like to say thank you to Samens and the Citi FM and then Citi TV, as well as the management of Royal Senchi. I don't think I should even attempt to overemphasize. Really, really, really good. So I retired to bed. I told Samens that I don't want to be late to getting up, and I know that sometimes some of these things can go so wrong. So I retired to bed early after my shower. And then my night was very, very good.
What did you take for breakfast? Because I see, local and also continental.
Yeah, I went the continental way, typical British breakfast.
The English breakfast.
Yes, because normally I go for the K and all of those things on a regular, normal day.
Okay.
So I just wanted to switch. Basically, that's it. It's been good. It's been good. I'm good to go.
Let me speak to my lady here. I'm not seeing you taking anything. Is it that you're done eating?
Oh, I'm done eating, actually. I'm done eating.
What did you go for? Did you also go for the watch I'm seeing here?
I did a little of English and the local as well. Since we are in the Ghana month, I decided to do wache, and the wache was so on point.
Well, we'll be heading to the Ashanti region very soon, and that is after the breakfast is done. So I'm sure you're guessing what food our patrons have been treated to this morning. Let me get an interaction with the executive chef here at Royal Senchi. We are in Ghana month, and so a lot of people want to eat Ghanaian foods. I've seen wache and others. Which other foods particularly are you bringing on board, particularly for the Ghana month or the Heritage Month?
All right. First of all, the Walter perch, we have the tilapia. Of course, this has to be there. Chicken is always a big part. And then, of course, all the starches like the kinke, the banku, the wache you mentioned already. This is what people are really coming here for.
So all is set. You can see patrons getting their luggage into the various buses. So we have 3 buses, bus 1, bus 2, and the third one is on the other side. And so they are going to embark on another road journey, this time around from the Eastern region where we're hosted by Royal Senchi Hotel. We're heading to the Ashanti region. We're going to tour the Bonre area. The whole focus is for us to understand how kente came about, the types of kente that we have, and also learn more about the people and the culture of the Ashanti.
Heritage caravan. Heritage caravan. CTBL. CTBL. Guinness Ghana. Guinness Ghana. Mota Guinness. Mota Guinness. Mota Guinness. Mota Guinness.
Also, after over 5 to 6 hours of drive from the Eastern region, we're here in the Ashanti region, precisely at the Bonre Tourist Center. The chief of this particular community, Nana Bobi Ansa II, has also been appealing to government and also international organizations. He says that if it is possible, they should come to their aid and invest in the cost of business that they do here. And this is going to serve as employment opportunities for indigents in this community.
To seek assistance, to help to expand the kente industry, improve and manufacture the yarn which is used to manufacture kente in Ghana, especially in Bonre, to bring the cost of production of yarn and kente very reasonable for everyone to be able to afford the cloth.
The managing director of Citi FM and Citi TV, Samuel Atamensa, has also been speaking on this occasion.
For many years, we have been told that the things that crafted our being, that gave us an identity are obsolete and out of date because of film and storytelling. But we've gotten to the time where we have to tell our own stories to promote the cultural assets that define who we are, which has brought us to this heritage, promotion of our heritage, and for which reason we are gathered here. And I think that the mention of Kente brings something very solemn and passionate to every Ghanaian.
The EU ambassador to Ghana has also been speaking, and he says that his outfit is committed to ensuring that investment is made into the Kente business.
We are currently, as we speak, launching a program this year to boost the private sector in Ghana, which will include promoting access to finance, capacity building, and other opportunities for the culture and heritage sectors across the country.
The next place to visit is the Upper East region, where patrons, or the caravanites as we call them, would be visiting the Paga Crocodile Pond to experience the nature and beauty of God. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediama Ansah.
We'll be catching up with the team shortly as they are currently on their way to the Upper East region. But first, let's hear from some of the caravanites speak about today's Independence Day celebrations.
Despite our challenges, I think we've gone far as a country, really. I mean, starting from independence, for about more than 100 years, the British administration, we didn't have much expansion of education, health. And after that, Nkrumah's regime, subsequent regimes, we've done a fair bit. Though we still have a couple of challenges, I feel that we should be much more patriotic. I think we should start loving our country more. We've got the resources. What we need to do is to love our country more.
If we can work on these things, respect for time, live truly godly lives, not say one thing and do the other, then this nation will turn around in a very short time. It's as simple as that. But then, if we choose not to, there is no policy, no economic policy, no technological policy, that nothing will save us.
We are honestly, Ghana, very, very proud of Ghana, how far we have come as a country. We have a little bit of way to go, but trust me, Ghanaians are very resilient, very excited, very peaceful people. So I'm excited about how far we've come as a country.
If you are the president of Ghana, what would be your first priority for this country?
Employment, youth employment is a big deal for me. So if we can get that going, I'm happy to.
Those were some patrons on the 2023 edition of the Heritage Caravan. The Heritage Caravan 2023 is powered by Citi TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Holland Ghana, the European Union, Malta Guinness, Ebony Condoms, Goyle Company Limited, the National Lotteries Authority, Voltic Mineral Water and Colgate Natural Extracts. Now we are being joined on the phone line by my colleague here at Citi FM, Citi TV, Fred Duho, who is on the caravan to give us updates on what's happening today. Good afternoon, Fred, and what can you tell us?
We are just entering Tamale, which is the northern region, and we just crossed the barrier and about to cross one of the water bodies. This is one of the bridges I see leading to the main Tamale township. So I would say that the bus we took off as early as 6 a.m. this morning from Kumasi and headed to Tamale. Our main destination is Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. But as we speak now, we've just reached Tamale. And we will do a brief stopover, which would be for lunch for the patrons to have lunch, take some rest, and then we jump on board again, then proceed with the journey again.
Right, Fred, now can you tell us about the mood of the caravanites so far? Are they as excited as they were when I last spoke to them on Sunday?
We actually woke up. In actual fact, we slept as late as 1 a.m. Some even came to bed around 2 a.m. because we're having poolside party in Kumasi. So a number of them went to bed very late and getting up at dawn to embark on this particular journey. You would expect that most of them would be exhausted, but that is not the case. From one point to the other, you would see the energy in them, the enthusiasm, all of them jamming and dancing and doing a bit of jama. Then they take rest, go back to rest a little while, then they proceed again. We have games also on board. People are playing cards alongside. And I am in bus 2, bus 1, bus 3 are equally having their own kind of fun. Doing very well how these people have been categorized. In no way, the bus 1 has people who are elderly people, kind of, and bus 2, the average married people, couples on board, while bus 3 has the youthful exuberance. So you can just imagine on each of the buses what is happening.
I can imagine. Fred, thank you so much for bringing us those updates. Fred Duho is my colleague here at Citi FM and Citi TV. And that's how we end Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. For more news, do log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Nashika Caesar, and this afternoon I did this with
Caleb Kuda.
Michael Obodo is up next with the afternoon's edition of Citi Business News.
The city is alive.